This is Vienna, Virginia. We're about to start our local first play test of Fall of Saigon. And here we are drinking Dan's beer from Quebec. Thank you, Dan. And you are watching No Enemies Here, Wargaming News. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
And Table Battles, designed by Tom Russell, has a new expansion. Expansion number 4, the English Civil War. Hollenspiel and Escape from Hades from the dream team of Fred Manzo and Herman Lutman. This time they recruit Will Alambre for the artwork. This is a solitaire science fiction extravaganza. And for that, it inspired me when I saw that because it reminded me of when I was young. And I wrote a little something. Most of you have seen it. You know what? I'll drop it in here again. It was Fred Manzo's birthday this week. Happy birthday, Fred. Flying Pig Games and Old School Tactical Volume 3. This time they go to the Pacific. This game is designed by Shane Logan. The game includes 3 sheets of unit weapon vehicle and condition counters, 2 millimeters thick, corners rounded, plus a large 30 by 41 inch mounted game map, 18 luck cards, 16 scenarios, player aid cards, color rulebook, of course a dice, and a massive box. Compass Games and Napoleon's Eagles, Storm in the East, the Battle of Borodino and Leipzig. This is a historical card game by Christopher Moeller. What you get with this game are 225 poker-sized cards, 2 player aid cards, 3 scenario setup cards, 1 rules and scenario book, and Compass Games' famous box and a lid. Complexity 5 out of 10, solitaire suitability is low, the time scale abstract. 1 full day of battle is 6 turns. The unit scale, infantry and cavalry corps. This is a 2-player game, playing time is 30 to 90 minutes, 4 hours for a large campaign, designed by Christopher Moeller. The Korean War, June 1950 to May 1951, Designer Signature Edition. The Korean War marks the return of a true wargaming classic by Joseph Balkowski's first published in 1986, faithfully remastered and updated with this all-new supersized edition. And what you get with this game are 4 map sheets, 3 counter sheets, rule booklet with updated historical notes, 2 charts and table booklets, 1 10-sided die, and obviously Yeah. Complexity is 7 out of 10, solitaire suitability is 6 out of 10, timescale 1 month per turn, the map scale is 7.5 miles per hex, unit scale, battalions, regiment, and brigade and divisions. This is a 1 to 2 player, best with 2 or more. Playing time is 4 to 8 hours depending upon scenario, 20 plus hours for the campaign. GMT, Tank Duel, Enemy in the Crosshair, a game designed by Mike Bertuccelli. Tank Duel, Enemy in the Crosshairs is a card-based game for 1 to 8 players that depicts tank-to-tank warfare on the Eastern Front of World War II in the early to mid-1940s. And what you get with this game are 220 cards, 16 full color-mounted tank boards, 8.5 by 11, 2 full color 5/8 counter sheets, half a sheet of 1-inch round counters, rulebook, scenario book, and 8 player aid cards. Complexity is medium-low, solitaire suitability is sky-high. If you're interested in Tank Duel, Enemy in the Crosshairs, Mike Bertuccelli on BGG has an unboxing of a pre-production copy. Basically, it looks like exactly what the games you're gonna get. And I'm gonna have a link below. Technology, just click on the link and straight away, you're at Mike Bertuccelli doing the unboxing. Anyways, links below, check it out. Beneath the Med, Italian Submarines at War, 1940 to 1943. A game designed by Gregory M. Smith. The Med is a solitaire tactical level game placing you in command of an Italian submarine during World War II. What you get with this game is 1 full counter sheet, rule booklet with designer notes, 6 player aid cards, 5 submarine display mats, 1 submarine patrol map, a combat mat, submarine patrol log sheet, 3 6-sided, 2 10-sided dice, and 1 20-sided die, and the game is boxed. Average playing time is 2 to 3 hours. Complexity is medium-low, solitaire suitability is sky-high.
A game for gamers, made by gamers, by Flying Pig Games.
The Gimpy Gamer is playing Warfighter Zombies Part 2 and 3. JK Wargames. It gives you a look at his 40k Space Marine Raptors army. The man famously known as Calandale, Enrico Viglino, continues his playthrough of Vietnam. He is in the fall season. Marco Wargamer Arnaldo reviews Battles Magazine number 13, A Sheer Butchery, Solferino 1859. Jeff McAleer of the Gaming Gang on his War Game Wednesdays did The War of the Worlds, USA East Coast by DVG. Grant and Alexander, the gentlemen of the Player's Aid, are reviewing Fall of Saigon Fire in the Lake expansion with Mark Herman and myself. Also, they're interviewing Bill Molyneux, Savage Wilderness from Lock and Load Publishing. You know, I'm the news guy, right? So, today I'm finishing off, it's Friday, I'm finishing off the show. I'm editing, adding the music, making cuts, making sure everything's nice, And Grant from the Player's Aid, just as I'm editing stuff, ding! He's got another video out. Hey! It's the 11th hour, buddy. I gotta put up my news, huh? A bit of respect here. Take Friday off. Leave me alone. Bloody hell. Now here's another video from Grant, Player's Aid. Grant from the Player's Aid is at WBC 2019 interviewing Joe Chacon and the new game Front Towards Enemy, a game designed by Joe Chacon, published by MMP. Wars TV and their epic D-Day War Game Part 2 of 2. Gilbert Collins talks about WBC and the games he picked up there, and I'm sorry I missed Gilbert Collins, and also takes a look at submarine, tactical level submarine warfare 1939 to 1945 by Battle Lines, published in 1976. Jan Heinemann of Let's Play History in his passionate play of Fields of Fire, the Treviere Offensive. This is The Fate of Easy, Part 2 of 4 from the Fields of Fire game by Ben Hull. John Krantz is live with Compass Games, August 8th, 2019, episode 27. Mo From Mo's Game Table with his gruff and sexy voice is unboxing Ardent 44, The Battle of the Bulge, a game designed by Mark Simonich, published by GMT. Mo also previews Failsafe, Strategic Nuclear Warfare in the Cold War from Strategy and Tactics number 283. Lock and Load Publishing continues the bootcamp video by the GIMPY gamer World at War 85, in which they discuss today helicopter movement. The man with no camera, no frills, no gimmicks, no music, no clothes, Tim Korchnoi of Bare Bones Wargaming. Tim is unboxing the first CSL game with the Destroy All Monsters operational system, Army Group South. MAURO FAINA discusses La Battaglia di Berlino, the Battle of Berlin, in one of his videos, obviously in Italian. You want to know what's happening on the big board? I'll tell you what's happening on the big board. Kevin, big man, CEO and president for life of the big board, has actually pronounced Montélimar correctly. He's giving us an overview of the game by Adam Starkweather, published by Compass Games. And also the CEO continues his update on gameplay day 2 on Montélimar. Jason, Compass Games, is unboxing or showing you a new game, Blue Water Navy, The War at Sea. This is a card game designed by, and I hope I don't massacre your name here, Stuart Tong. Or Tong. Sorry, Stuart. So what you get with this game is 1 map, 4 counter sheets, 2 decks of 55 playing cards, 6 double-sided player aid, 2 single-sided player aids, a rule, a scenario booklet, 6 10-sided dice, and, say it together with me, people, a box and a lid. Wasn't that cathartic? On their webpage, Compass Games, for this game, they have a fun little blurb of what the newspapers throughout the world would say if this situation would happen. Basically, the year is 1983, and the headlines read, and I'll try to read it, per nation's voice, whatever. So the Daily Telegraph says, NATO intelligence reports the mobilization of Soviet frontline divisions. Der Spiegel says, unmistakable signs of preparation for war. And Le Monde says, Soviet leader Andropov details largest ever summer training exercise. And the New York Times says, Schultz returns to New York. United States sets DEFCON 2, declares intent to defend Europe. That was a bad New York accent, but what the hell. And the BBC says, the Soviet tanks smashed through both the defenses. And that was bad too. But anyways, I'm gonna leave it on. ARDWULF of ARDWULF'S LAIR unboxes World in Flames Classic, Global Conflict 1939 to 1945 from the Australia Design Group. And ARDWULF has another video, War Game Storage 7 with World in Flames Collector's Edition, Part 1. Hex 2 Red 1 Alpha unboxes Mike Denson's game, The Last 100 Yards, published by GMT. Rough Swordsman's Wargamer continues his playthrough on Order number 227, Part 3 of Pavlov's House, a game designed by David Townsend, published by DVG. Use this code, get 25% off at DVG's website. 25. And talking about DVG, Sarah, customer service par excellence lady at DVG, had a surprise for me. She says, for your subscribers, and this is where it gets tough, for your subscribers, can we give away Warfighter? Obviously, sure. With the Undead expansion and another expansion. I don't know which one, probably Airborne. If you can answer this question, I once did 4 questions with Dan Burson, an interview that I do, 4 questions, and he was given a call sign by an Air Force pilot. What was his call sign? You guess it? Anybody who guesses it? I'll put it in a tumbler and, I don't know, pick out a name and we ship that to you. So, again, to my subscribers, what was Dan Burson's call sign given to him by an Air Force pilot? Thank you and good luck.
Hey guys, Dave here. Welcome to Centurion's Review, the punk rock band of war game review institutions. This week on our website we will be reviewing Deadly Doodles from Steve Jackson Games. Essentially it's a game that comes with 4 dry erase boards with dungeons printed on them, and you're drawing cards which have you draw a pass through the dungeons where you collect treasure and you slay monsters and collect weapons and stuff. It's pretty cool. What's interesting about it is it's a perfect game for kids, and it's okay for adults too, so it's something that would be fun for you to play with your kids. On our YouTube channel, we're doing a first look at an adventure game from SPI. It's actually a magazine that has 3 games in it for introducing you to adventure gaming. The first game in is Creature That Ate New York. The second game that's in it is Napoleon at Waterloo, which is actually a lot of fun. And the third game is The Tower at Azan. So essentially you have a science fiction adventure game, you have a full-blown war game, and you also have a paragraph game. So it's a really nice magazine that SPI put out in the 1980s to get gamers into adventure gaming. I think it was a freebie they gave out at conventions, but I think you guys will like seeing it. Anyhow, hope to see you guys soon on our website and on our YouTube channel. Have a good evening.
And on BGG, Jim Krohn of Space Empire 4X fame plus the other 2 expansions, he has a post out and a poll. He wants to do one last Space Empire expansion, and he puts out a plethora, I always wanted to use that word, a plethora of options that you can vote for, and he'll put it in the game. The guy's amazing. So I'll have a link, technology, I'll have a link below. Click on it and you're straight to BGG.
It's basically kind of a blend of role-playing and alternate history, fantasy, high-tech research, but sort of like B-17 Queen of the Skies.
Now, is this the only
simplified.
Is this the only game you're working on this year?
Well, no, you know that.
I just wanted to ask that question. I know.
Yeah, I've got about 6 in the works.
Yeah,
Here's another one. This one I'm really excited for because STUKAJOE did a video for me on this one in Phoenix. But basically, Western Front Ace is a sequel to Night Fighter Ace.
And who's STUKAJOE again? Okay, all right.
Yeah. 42 different airplanes. A little bit of role playing where you try to make ace. You get a wingman. You try to survive flying over the trenches. You go balloon busting. You might go strafing. It just you win awards from the different countries. But the cool thing about this is, unlike a lot of my games where you only play for one side, this you could play British or Germans or French or Italians.
You mean as a solo game?
Yeah, as solitaire.
Okay.
But you don't play them all the sides at once. But the point is, you can choose to be either Italian or French or British, whatever you want to play. Belgian, I got Belgians in here too.
Okay.
So I think it's going to be really fun from that aspect. A lot of replayability because there's 42 different airplanes the player can control, and it's just neat. And I'm excited about the new skill system I put in, which allows you to do maneuvers. Standard and advanced maneuvers, and we've been testing that this week, and it's
And with that, you know what? Let's have an impromptu interview with Greg M. Smith, WBC 2019.
tower.
That's
my trademark moves deal right there.
So this is your flag tower. Right? This is pretty heavy.
It is. It's supposed to be a replica of the Zoo Tower, which the Germans built in Berlin. They called it the Zoo Tower because it was next to the Berlin Zoo.
Okay.
And these were supposed to be twin 120mm flat.
That's just huge.
Not the 88s,
yeah.
120.
Yeah.
Twin. These are the largest 8 flat guns the Germans made in the war. And they had 4 sets of them. And oh, by the way, I don't have them represented. They have like a dozen
little
37mm.
Right.
And
anti-aircraft.
Yeah, so this thing was just bristling. So, I just thought it would make a good... I play in the B-17 event, so this is what we do.
Did it just happen to B-17 event, or is it gonna happen?
Tomorrow morning.
What time?
It's at 09.
And it's gonna be happening here?
Oh, no, it happens in Foggy. Well,
okay, across the... Yeah, I got you.
Wherever. Are you started?
Yeah, for sure I've started.
Oh, okay. All right. No, it's picking.
So, like, what... You were describing the game, the one that STUKAJOE filmed. That was called...
Western Front Ace.
That's a World War I.
World War I solitaire, and it's the sequel to Night Fighter Ace. And it's just, testing has been so good. I'm just really pumped up on this one because...
Now, who's testing this?
Well, I have a couple friends tested from here.
Okay.
Dan Bates tested it. I had who was testing it? Yeah. Oh, Christopher Shaw. He was one of the main testers for Interceptor Ace, which is also coming out. But that one's done. That one's kind of to bed now.
So now, of all the games you've done, the Hunters and
Silent Victory, Zeppelin Raiders.
What do you take mechanics from every single one of your games, incorporate into the new game, or do you tweak something?
It depends. It's really it's kind of the design challenges to when I get excited about a situation. I'm like, oh, this would be cool. Let's do a game on this. Certain things make sense to apply for my previous game systems, and some things just don't.
Okay, so you don't start with
take
a mechanic.
everything.
You don't start with a mechanic in mind. You start with a history, something.
And then how can I represent this?
Okay.
And make it fun and have it make sense. So I'll just, for example, Zeppelin Raider.
Yeah.
Okay, I had a prestige point system in Night Fighter Ace.
Okay.
Where basically the Germans, they wouldn't really give their most advanced Night Fighter out to Joe Schmuck the Ragman.
Okay, so they gave it to an ace pilot.
They gave if you're an ace and you've proven yourself, you'll get the very best aircraft, or at least
which makes sense.
A shot,
a
choice.
Yeah.
So that mechanic, and so how do you get prestige? How do you become more famous? Well, you shoot down British bombers, you earn awards, you get medals, those kinds of things. And that system actually, it was great. It worked awesome. So it was a very nice system. All right, well, when I did my Zeppelin game, Zeppelins are certainly significantly different than Night Fighters. But actually, the prestige system made sense because the very latest and most advanced Zeppelin of the day, I mean, they had 8 major classes, you know, the P class, the Q class, the R class, the S, and finally the X class. So as a more advanced Zeppelin becomes available, again, they're not going to probably would have entrusted that to, you know, Junior Lieutenant Ding Dong, all right? They're going to give it to somebody who's proven himself. So the point of the story is that the prestige system made sense for this game as well as that game. So I brought it in.
Right.
I'm doing a game called America Bomber, Evil Queen of the Skies.
And you're not using that mechanic in there?
No, because it doesn't fit. It doesn't make sense. And the reason why is there's a very limited amount of upgrades. There's only 3 starter planes, 1 plane that becomes available, 2 starter planes, 1 plane becomes
and this
available.
Is a solo game also, right?
Yeah, solo game also, and then 2 more planes at the end. So the system just didn't fit. And guess what? Doesn't fit. Don't use it.
Okay.
You know. So I try to look at mechanics that I've come up with, or even from other games. You know, Western Front Ace uses a combat system that's essentially stolen from Down in Flames.
Okay. Oh, I see. Okay. I remember you telling me that. Yeah.
Well, you know, it's a neat system. It works. You know, it's not the exact same system. I'm not totally plagiarized it, but essentially, I've utilized a lot of those mechanics and altered it for the game, and it's great. So if something fits, use it. Right? So that's the way I look at it.
How many games are you working on right now? You got
like 7. I only brought 6 here
you only brought
to
6.
the show. So, well, okay. In my defense, by the way,
can you name them?
Can I name them?
Yeah.
Off the top of my head?
Yeah.
Sure. Western Front Ace, America Bomber, Evil Queen of the Skies, Imperial Tide, which is World War I, 1914 and 1918. Beneath the Med through GMT, Town Submarines. Sensuikon.
Oh, Sun Tzu. Okay.
Sensuikon is the Japanese word for submarine, so it's a fleet submarine.
I thought it was Sun Tzu. Okay, someone was talking to me about that.
No.
All right. That's incredible. Man, the guy's got 7 games happening, and they're shocked. You know, I wouldn't remember either.
And Interceptor Ace. I brought the prototype for that, although it's pretty much done.
So the next one coming out, the next one coming out of the 7 games that you're doing is
Interceptor Ace.
Okay.
Should be out in a couple months. I mean, it's essentially done. The only thing that needs to happen right now is you take the rules that I've written, and we need to be formatted and then printed, and then the cards are done, the counters are done, all the rest of it's done. So it just kind of needs to slap it all together and get the rule book
and this
printed.
is always with Compass, is that right?
Yeah, Compass pretty much does. I'm pretty much consider myself a Compass designer, I guess, at this point. But GMT has graciously asked me to work with them, and you know, that's why I'm doing Beneath the Med, the Italian submarine game, is going to be a Compass release. And well, I also have a couple other games coming out. Hunted, but see, this is a long time ago, and
this has been a while in production, the Hunted.
Oh yeah, it's finally 3 years later, finally gotten out on a print run. So Hunted, the 3rd printing of Hunters, and the 2nd printing of Silent Victory, those should all be available within a couple months.
And this is going to be which company is going to put these out?
GMT.
Okay.
But now, in my defense, by the way, yes, I'm working on a ton of games, but you know, this is my day job. I mean, I don't have anything else to do, so I like to stay busy. So, you know, I work on a game, I work with the artist, we hit a roadblock, I work on a different game, I work on that for a while, I switch back to the first game, so it keeps me busy, you know.
You know who used to do that? Writing music?
Oh, yeah?
Mozart. Mozart had 6 or 7 different pieces he was writing at the same time.
Same time.
Yeah? So you're in the same class.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that.
Do you want to say anything else? You have any other pertinent and important information?
No, other than I am thankful to the group on Facebook, the Solitaire War Games group there, because they helped on the print and play version of America Bomber, and the response was so phenomenal. I said, I got to make a game out of this.
Didn't you have one of the followers give you the idea for a Zeppelin or something?
Yeah, well, no, Zeppelin.
Or one of the games you were in?
Well, Western Front Ace is directly a result of a fan on Facebook saying you need to take Night Fighter Ace to World War I. I said, all right, sounds good. And then I started doing it. I mean, I've always liked it too. But then I started making the airplane prototypes, and the more I made, the more excited I got, and I was like, oh man, we got a game here. Let's go. And then I went crazy. I was like, I'm not gonna. This is gonna be my magnum opus. I'm not gonna cut any corners here. We got 42 airplanes. We got 8 different nationalities. It's like I cut, spared no expense. So this one's it's not overly complicated, but it has a lot. The reason it has so much is because there's all the different countries. Belgium, France,
what's
Britain.
DTA for this one?
Man, I don't know.
So first
let me tell you, I got recorded on camera last year saying, "Oh yeah, I think this game will come out in October," and of course it wasn't out till 4 months later. I don't know, but
4 months later is not too bad.
I'm thinking early next year.
And this is a big production one.
Yeah. See, the issue is there's so much art involved in this one. We're looking at it'll take the artist a while to knock this one out.
So we're not talking about a 2-inch box here. Talking about?
Oh, this will probably be a 3-inch box, maybe 2.5. I don't know. America Bomber, for example. I mean, the game's done. This game's done too, really, for all intents and purposes. I got to tweak a few things, maybe, but America Bomber is probably going to come out first. But the reason why is because it's just not as art intensive.
Right.
I've only got 5 airplanes. I only have 42 freaking airplanes.
In America Bomber.
America Bomber's got 5.
Okay.
So see, it's going to not take as much time.
I understand.
So I think it's going to be out by the end of the year, and that's why, because it's not so art intensive. The good news too is it'll probably cost less because it's not so component heavy.
Okay.
I mean, I got 1 counter sheet, 1 map,
a hunter's type.
Basically a hunter's type setup. All right. So it's not going to be so horrible on components. So I'm hoping America Bomber will be, reasonably priced. I think in the 40s, maybe 50 at worst, I guess. This will probably be at Western Front Ace because of the so many airplanes. It's going to cost a little bit more, but
you get what you pay for.
Well. It'll be probably about like Night Fighter Ace, $75 pre-order is a wild guess. I probably shouldn't say that on film. Since I don't run, I only work for, I only design for Compass. Yeah, all right, please do. But, no, this is going to be neat. I actually have fun playing that. In fact, before we get done, we should play a little bit. I'll show you how it works.
Right now?
We could. It only takes 10 minutes.
Okay.
I know you're not a gamer, but I will make you a gamer.
Okay, let's do it. I don't know how I'm going to film this, but...
Oh, you don't have to film it.
Okay.
But if you want to, you can.
Well,
you could point down.
Sorry, I couldn't film it. I had some technical problems. Matt White's Until the Bitter End, U.S. Airborne. This is a print and play Kickstarter. It's a second World War II solitaire and 2-player game that Matt does print and play. The game sets a small squad of American airborne against a German enemy in a series of small skirmish scenarios. Can anybody say narrative? The game comes with 10 US airborne infantry and 10 German infantry counters, 2 maps, and a full rulebook. Scenario book, plus all the stretch goals in this project. Avalon Digital and Blocks, Richard III, Block Wargaming on your PC and Mac. Richard III is a computer adaptation of the epic 2-player war game from Columbia Games that recreates the 15th century bloody dynastic struggle between the royal houses of Lancaster and York for the throne of England. They also have a demo that you can play. Check them out. Worthington Publishing, Stalingrad Besieged. This is a game designed by Dr. Lou Pulsifer. Stalingrad Besieged is a game that allows 1 to 2 players to refight the campaign for Stalingrad in 1942 in 3 different ways: cards, blocks, or counters. The game plays in less than an hour. And what you get with this game is a mounted game board, a deck of option cards, a full set of Russian unit large wooden blocks with labels, Russian unit cards, Russian unit oversized counters, German unit large wooden blocks with labels, and you know the drill, plus status cubes, dice, 2-player aids, and a rulebook. Compass Games, and once we moved like the wind. With this game is 1 mounted map, 22 by 23 inches, a color rulebook, a sheet of stickers, 80 wooden blocks, 4-player mats, 2 6-sided dice, and 1 Compass Games is famous for a box and a lid. Complexity 3 out of 10, solitaire shootability 5 out of 10, the time scales 3 to 4 years per turn, the map scale area covering parts of Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, Sonora, and Chihuahua. This is a 2-player game, plays in about 1 to 2 hours. Phalanx Games, and in the soon-to-be kickstarted Successors, a game by Richard Berg and Mark Simonich. Harold Buchanan's Harold on Games, podcast number 21, Gen Con Insurgency, and an interview with Canadian designer, Brian Train. This is part 1 of a 2-part interview. Buckeye Game Fest, the friendliest board game convention in Ohio. The Buckeye Game Fest 2019 will be held September 5th through the 8th at the Hyatt Regency at 350 North High Street in downtown Columbus. Pacificon 41 Game Expo, August 30th to September 2nd, 2019 at the Santa Clara Marriott Hotel. The San Diego Historical Game Convention, November 8th, 9th, and 10th, 2019 at the Handerly Hotel, 950 Hotel Circle North, San Diego, California. Board Game Geek, BGG, Fall, 20 to 24th of November, 2019 at the Hyatt Regency Airport in Dallas, Texas. Another week, another show. Thank you very much for watching. Please support, subscribe, and like this channel. I really enjoy doing this. I'll see you next week.